Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions that's happening this evening as part of the Illinois Virtual College Fair. So be sure to sign up for others at the same website where you registered for this one, which is also where recordings of this presentation and all others will be available in about a week's time. Now, without further ado, I'm pleased to turn it over to our presenters, and we'll begin this evening with John Wood Community College.
Excellent, thank you. So happy to be here with everybody tonight. Hopefully you are able to squeeze a little time out of your evening. Want to get started and just tell you a little bit about John Wood. We are a community college located on the western side of Illinois, right on the Mississippi. Here's just kind of a quick overview. We've got a number of accolades for our online programs, high student satisfaction, safe college, and really we help students get started, whether they want to go into the workforce or they want to just start their bachelor's degree. So we'll dig in. Three things that I want you to walk away with today: that John Wood will help you find your path. I know it can be very overwhelming, not only trying to pick a college, but trying to pick a career that you think you're going to do for the rest of your life. So John Wood is, we pride ourselves in the fact that we help you find your path. We are going to save you a ton of money. That is probably one of the biggest distinguishing factors for the community college, and that's the reason we exist, is to make education accessible to as many students as possible, and that we will set you up for success. I've got some success stories to share here at the end. So those are the three things I want you to know when we get done. So like I mentioned, we'll help you find your path. There's statistics for how many students, at least 50% don't know what they want to do. Even those students that say they do really don't. So if you know what you want to do, you can still get started at the community college level. We have a lot of students that know they want to do a hands-on career. They know that the classroom is not necessarily their favorite thing, but they want to have a good career and a good paying job. So we can help those students. And then also, if you want to start a bachelor's degree, pretty much any bachelor's degree that you would want to start, you can begin your first 2 years at a community college like John Wood. This is just kind of a breakdown showing some of our local manufacturers in the tri-state area where Quincy is located that hire our graduates directly out of our programs. And then a number of the schools that we have students transfer to, although we have students transfer literally all over the country. So your pick there. So on to the second point, John Wood will save you a ton of money. And this is just a fact. It's this time of year where a lot of students are getting their award packages, and the balance at the bottom is that's the reality. These are some actual numbers from schools in our area. So you can see just base tuition. This is not taking into consideration any scholarships or grants or anything, but just base tuition. And thinking about that this is just for 1 year. So starting at a school like John Wood, starting at that community college can save you a ton of money off the bat. And then any scholarships and grants you can kind of make it go a little further. We do have a worksheet, and I'll be happy to follow up and send this to everybody that's on the Zoom. This is an example of it filled in, but oops, sorry. You can see, it just makes it very easy to see, here's the cost, here's here's scholarships, here's grants. That actual cost of education, that's before you work into the loans, because that's actual money that you're paying back. So it is kind of easy to lump all of that together and deduct loans that you're taking out, which makes it manageable, and it's an investment. But you want to make sure that you know exactly what your cost is and how you're going to go about paying that back once you graduate. Another thing that we like to point out to students is when you start at a community college like John Wood and you graduate with that bachelor's degree, when you're walking across the stage, you have the same BS in business or the same BS in biology. Whether you started a community college or not, you are graduating with that same degree, that same piece of paper, only it might cost you a lot less because you made a different decision on the first couple years. And I mentioned success. You know, I think a lot of people think about community colleges and they think it's for students who maybe weren't considering going to college, and that's kind of a backup plan. Well, it could not be farther from the truth. Yes, we are a great option if you have no idea what you want to do, so you can maybe not spend so much money figuring it out. But we have a lot of students that know exactly what they want to do, and John Wood is kind of the platform that they use to jump off and get there. These are just a few of our kind of students we like to brag on. Sebastian Francis, he started at John Wood. He wanted to work for NASA, and he transferred to Purdue, and he is now a trajectory operations officer at NASA. You know, he's from a really small school in our district, maybe graduating class of 40. And so we were able to help him. We were a platform to, you know, help him reach his goals. Greg Havermale, he knew he wanted to be a doctor. And so, you know, looking at all the expense it's going to cost to become a doctor, he knew that he could start at John Wood and save a little money. So he did his first 2 years at John Wood, transferred to MU, University of Missouri, went to medical school at A.T. Still University in Kirksville, Missouri. And now he's a practicing doctor in Quincy, came back home. Katie Richard is another one. She had the goal of working for the FBI. For her program, it only made sense for her to stay at the community college for a year. So she completed that year, saved a little money, and then was able to transfer and is now working for the FBI, and her focus is on sex trafficking. And so it's her dream job that she is making a difference in that realm. Brent Mansfield, again, this was a more direct transfer. When it was in our ag program, went to the University of Illinois. He graduated from John Wood debt-free. We have a lot of students graduate debt-free, and then was able to go on to the University of Illinois to complete his bachelor's degree. And then I mentioned those students that maybe like to use their hands. Not all of our students want to complete a four-year degree, and that's okay. There's plenty of jobs available in our career technical programs. And so Jonathan knew that wasn't necessarily for him. He went into our CAD program, and he had a job offer his first semester. He was able to work while he went to school, and has gotten multiple promotions since then, and is still working for the same company 5 years later. And then our last one, Brecken, she did not know what she wanted to do. John Wood helped her figure it out, and now she's there in Colorado. So I see you popped on. I'm over my time. I'm sorry. I will send also with that form some follow-up information. I'm happy to connect if you have any questions or there's anything we can do to help you in your search.
Great. Thank you so much, Kristen. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities.
Thank you, everybody. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Before I start today, I want to acknowledge that in Metro Minneapolis, we have again lost a member of our Twin Cities community when Dante Wright was killed, and our thoughts are with his family and his friends. Our family is still grieving from the killing of George Floyd, and this killing adds to the pain that our community continues to heal from. I still will share information with you all today about our university, but we as an institution know it's important to recognize this loss, and I'm sure it might be on your minds as well. I want to put in the chat a statement that came from our university president that is in recognition of this event, and this came from our university president, Joan Gable. If you have more questions, I will also put my contact information in the chat at the end of my presentation, as I recognize this conversation might be better in a more one-on-one space. So thank you all for that. And that has been put in the chat. Very quickly. So we are the this largest school in the state of Minnesota. We are the Big Ten University. We are right in the heart of Minneapolis and St. Paul. We are a large school, about 150 majors and over 135 minors. How we organize our majors and minors is in 8 freshman admitting colleges. So when you apply to the university overall, you are not just applying strictly to a we don't have like a generalized studies program, but rather you do need to apply to some particular college, and you do need to know a little bit about what you want to do. Now, this is a blessing in the sense that each of the colleges then have their own specialized services. So they each have their own career services, advising services, mentorship services. And so they're really well geared into your particular field of study, which is really kind of helpful because also you're going to be kind of navigating different ways to enter the workforce depending on kind of your particular field that you're going to be joining in. Also, as a large university, we are 31,000 undergraduate students. However, our student to faculty ratio is 17:1, which isn't too bad. 80% of our classes are fewer than 50 students. 64% are fewer than 30 students. If you do a class that's larger than 50, it's typically your intro classes, right? Intro psych, intro chem, first year calculus. If you get a class that is larger than 50 students, you are guaranteed a discussion section or a lab section that will cap off at about 30 students, be with a graduate student or a professor who's in the same field to help you get your questions answered. Also too, you're looking at an example of an introductory course. So while we do have some large courses where you are looking at, one professor in a large lecture hall, we are kind of moving away from that model. As you can see here, basically you're kind of sitting in more small group settings. The presentation is set all throughout the room. And then when you're ready to share, you just press the microphone at the table. You don't need to, stand up and yell at everybody. So just kind of changing the educational model a little bit. We also, part of our size, we have over 900 student groups. So more than 50 intramural sports teams, more than 50 intramural sports teams, more than 200 multicultural student groups, more than 50 Greek clubs. Really, we're just trying to say with this is that you're not going to be bored on campus. If you want to, you're going to find someone who's going to have similar interests to you on campus. I guarantee it. Unless you kind of don't want to, well, then that's up to you. But definitely there are way more capacity for you to be able to meet somebody on campus. Absolutely. We're also Minnesota's Tier 1 research fields, land grant research facility. So yes, we have a relationship with our state government, but also that means that roughly 90% of all the research done in the entire state of Minnesota goes through our system some capacity. So there's an extensive amount of research opportunities available for our students to get involved in. Also, we have one of the most comprehensive study abroad programs in the country. Over 200 programs, over 60 countries. So we take pride that every major on campus, if you want to do 3 weeks, a summer, a semester, you want to see another part of our incredible world to diversify your experience on campus, by all means, we'd be more than happy to support you and make that happen. Also for student spirit, we got 20 NCAA Big Ten teams, right? So we're competing with Penn State. Heck, our football team hosts Ohio State for our first game this fall. We'll see how that goes. 12 women teams, 8 men teams. As a current student, all the sports are free except for 3, men's football, men's basketball, men's hockey. Those are going to come at discounted rates, whether it be single tickets or season passes, but I'm going to be transparent. We are the maroon and gold state. There are over 1 million Gopher fans coming to cheer on our sports teams every year, and tickets are going to be expensive when 2 teams are in town, Iowa and Wisconsin. We have some serious rivalry with our border states, and you'll feel it on campus, absolutely. But I say the biggest thing that separates us is our incredible location that we have in Minneapolis and St. Paul. In that, it is literally your backyard. So when there are a few schools out there that are similar size to us, similar capacities, but what's exceptionally rare is the fact that it is right in our backyard. Like this train, this is the Metro Transit, the city train from Minneapolis and St. Paul. You hop it, 4 stops, 20 minutes, you're downtown Minneapolis. You hop it and go the other way, 35 minutes, you're right at the Capitol building, St. Paul. And that gives you some immediate benefits. On a professional side, we have 17 Fortune 500 companies that are based in the Twin Cities. That is ranked #1 in the nation for Fortune 500s per capita. We have the largest career fair in the state. Over 250 employers twice a year looking to bring in our students. So if you want practicums, co-ops, internships, whatever real life experiences you can think of, extensive amounts, literally right in your backyard. You don't even need a car. Also, what are you gonna do for fun, right? Because college is more than just sitting in a classroom for 4 years. What happens on a weekend when you have some hours to kill, or a Wednesday night? Well, maybe you're a sports person like me. Outside of the Gopher game, 6 professional sports teams right off this train. Maybe you want to see a concert, Legendary First Ave, the Armory for more intimate feel. Maybe theater, Guthrie Theater, or the Orpheum Theater. We also have our own restaurant scene. We have our own cultural scene, over 70 different languages and dialects. So just so much capacity to explore and take advantage of. But I think another big thing about university is why. We have a 93% retention rate after first year, meaning that 93% of our freshmen come back to continue their studies sophomore year. When you consider that on a national average, we are much higher than a lot of other schools our size. So that's just a really huge deal because once you start sophomore year, very likely you're going to finish your four-year career. Also, roughly 90% of all of our graduates will find employment or graduate or enter graduate school within 6 months after graduation. So the reason we say about 90 is a couple a little more, a couple a little less, but definitely. Now, our application process, I'll keep it very short. And actually, you can just reach out to me about it because honestly, we'll talk about it again over the summer and the fall as well. This is my information. I will put it in the chat. Thank you all, everybody.
Great. Thank you so much, Jacob. Our next presentation tonight comes to us from Maryville University.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I'm happy to present to you about Maryville University, so let's get going. Maryville is in St. Louis, Missouri. We have about 11,000 students. We have 2,900, right at 3,000 undergraduates every day. We have 50 states represented, so all 50 states, and we have 58 different countries represented, which comes into play in a big way when we're talking about just having all the different perspectives and opinions at the table and voices in the room. We have over 90 different academic programs for you to choose from. We have 22 NCAA Division II teams. We are adding men's volleyball and women's field hockey. Your average class size is going to be about 25. And then when you get into your higher programs, you will have less students in your class as well. So you have really more access to your professors. We have over 150 different clubs and organizations for students. So really there is something here for you to find that you share an identity with, or if you don't share an identity with someone, and just to really join and be a part of your collegiate atmosphere. Some of our top academic programs are nursing, physical therapy, that is a 6.5-year program where you are freshman direct entry, you end up with your doctoral degree as well. Occupational therapy, where you end up with your master's. Speech language pathology, cybersecurity is huge. Our Cyber Fusion Center, the FBI used as their home base when they were here for the PGA, making sure everyone was safe and all lines of communication were safe. So that is super cool. Our Rawlings Sport and Business Management is a huge program for us. Their international headquarters is right on the edge of our campus. And so that program is fully funded by Rawlings. And that is the only program in the country that is fully funded by a company that is in that field. Computer science is huge for everyone. So we also have computer science. It's one of our top programs as well. We have all these different tracks through computer science. So we are an Apple Distinguished School. Some Maryville trivia. Apple is one of our strategic partners. We're one of 535 schools in the country that do have that distinguishment. And so we got it because of the way we integrate all different types of technologies through all different ways of learning. So through all types of programs, not just your hands-on learning programs as well. You will get an Apple iPad that comes preloaded with some Maryville apps and some other major specific apps as well. And then it's nice because it's yours to keep upon graduation. So we also have, which I think is a great resource, every student will have a life coach for their first 2 years. That is also going to be your academic advisor, pardon me. So what do they do? Who are these people? How do they help you? So they help with time management inside the classroom, outside the classroom. They help you with professional development in terms of, I don't have a resume. How do I even start my resume? How do I build this resume? How do I figure out about internships and career fairs? All of those things. Their job is to really walk alongside you and not drag you along. So they will also co-teach your intro to your university seminar class. So you will have someone that has a touch point with you that you will see about 3 times a week. It is really a great resource to have this person inside and outside of the classroom for you. So our career success rate, we like to brag about this. So we are 97.6% career success rate. So what does that mean? 6 months after graduating, 85% of our students are employed full-time, 4% are employed part-time, and then the rest of the breakdown is there. And these students are employed full-time and part-time in the major that they came to school for, which is huge. So really you should be asking all of us colleges and universities, what is your career success rate and how long after graduation are you measuring that? So moving right along, journey to become a saint. Our application is free. We do not believe in charging someone to tell us that you like us. We do want you to submit all your different transcripts. and we are test optional. We are been that way for 5 years, not just because of the pandemic. So it's really a holistic view. We're looking at everything, your academic records, your letter of recommendations, what are you doing outside of school, community involvement, do you have any other additional achievements? All of that really paints this picture for you as an applicant for us. So test optional means that we are looking at grades and or your ACT or SAT scores. So let's start with a little mic drop moment here. We talk about the tuition. We have froze tuition and we are lowering tuition 20% over the next 5 years. And that's just a way for us to make college more affordable and more accessible for everyone. So, or for many, let's say that. Here's a breakdown that I can, of course, talk about and drop in the chat. It really depends on where you are staying in terms of residence halls, but it's always nice to know that when you start at Maryville, your tuition will be going down at least 5% each year you're here. So I'm gonna finish with this little video and then I'll put my information in the chat. So centered in, like I said, St. Louis, Missouri, there are several ways for you to connect with us. Once a month, we do a Saint Sneak Peek where we feature a program and a department and do a virtual seminar that's recorded. Maryville Live, we do with our student union. Recently, we've done the Hot Ones episode where students in our community are eating super hot wings with super hot sauce and answering questions from prospective students. We are still doing on-campus visits. Of course, it is limited for capacity and COVID screenings are mandatory as well as masks. So we'd love to come see you in St. Louis, Missouri. I know that the University of Minnesota mentioned they have a good food scene. St. Louis also has a good food and dessert scene as well. So we could go toe-to-toe talking about food all the time. But enjoy the rest of the presentations. I hope that you enjoyed this one and thank you very much. Go Saints.
Great. Thank you so much. As we're about halfway through our presentations, just a reminder that the Q&A widget is available if you have questions for any of our presenters or broader ones for all of them to address. Up next, I'm pleased to introduce Lakeview College of Nursing.
Hi everyone, I'm Nigel Givens. I'm the admissions recruiter from Lakeview College of Nursing. And here at Lakeview, all we do is nursing. So our college is a standalone nursing program. We actually have two campuses, one in Danville, Illinois, and one in Charleston, Illinois. Charleston is about 2 hours from St. Louis and Danville is about 2.5 hours from Chicago. Our students are all transfer students. So they're coming from regionally accredited community colleges and other four-year universities, and then they transfer to us to focus solely on their nursing major. Our graduates graduate with their bachelor's of science in nursing, as well as their registered nursing license. So our students, once they get their diploma, they take the NCLEX, which is the state boards. Currently, our pass rate for first-time test takers is at a 95% for 2020. About 91% of our qualified applicants are admitted into our program. So typically we don't have to waitlist students because we have those two campuses. The curriculum at both campuses are the same. So our students are actively going to lectures in person, skills lab on campus as well. And then they are going to local medical facilities in surrounding counties for their clinical rotations. So I won't be looking at anything that you're doing in high school. I'll strictly be looking at your college coursework. So a great thing about Lakeview with our school being for transfer students, we have transfer specific scholarships. So one transfer scholarship is merit-based, the other is need-based. Both of those are each worth at $20,000. And then we also have Phi Theta Kappa scholarships that range from $500 to $2,000. And then we also have a lot of private scholarships that students apply for once they've been accepted into the program. About 84% of our students do receive some type of financial aid. Tuition right now is about $27,000, but that's before financial aid. So our students aren't really paying that much. Our program is traditionally 2 years, but we do have an accelerated track where students can finish in as fast as 18 months. So as our students get ready to transfer, they work with me to make sure that they're taking the right courses. So it's my job to make sure that our students, when they apply, they've completed those first 60 credit hours of gen eds and prereqs. They have a 2.5 GPA or higher, and they complete the HESI A2 admissions test. A great thing that I would point out to you is that our nursing students really come from a background of science. So make sure that you're taking those anatomy and physiology classes, those biology classes. Our students are required to take anatomy and physiology 1 and 2 in college, chemistry 1 and 2, and several other courses. So if you're in a community college or if you're at another 4-year university, you just have to make sure that you complete your gen eds and prereqs, work with me to make sure that you've taken all those courses, and then you do apply to our program. Our students apply the semester before they plan to attend. So currently the prospective students that I'm working with are applying for the fall 2021 semester. We have extended the deadline. So if any of you are out there, you've already completed that coursework and you're ready to apply, you still do have time. And then we also accept students in the spring as well. So those students actually apply in the fall for spring admissions. We are in person, so we are offering private tours. If you're ever in the area, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to give you a tour for either campus. We do have virtual tours available on our YouTube page, and we also can schedule virtual meetings as well. Feel free to contact me at admissions@lakeviewcol.edu. I will put that information in the chat, and then also feel free to view our website at lakeviewcol.edu. Thank you guys so much.
Great, thank you. Our next presentation this evening comes to us from Indiana State University.
Let's see if I can share screen. I didn't practice. I guess I should have. Here we go. Maybe not. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Well, hello, I'm Lisa Winker, and I would like to begin by telling you a little bit about my wonderful institution, Indiana State University. So we believe that every person deserves an opportunity for a great education. We're all inclusive. We offer more than 100 majors and minors, over 75 graduate and professional programs, and over 70 online programs. There is literally something here for everyone. So we are a mid-sized public institution with a student enrollment of just under 11,000 students. 2/3 of those classes have less than 30 students, which provides the opportunity for a lot of individualized attention. So we are also the most diverse public residential student population in Indiana. Academics at Indiana State are way more than just book work. We offer a wide range of exciting majors and minors. We provide 100% of experiential learning. We're a research institution and a teaching college. We offer endless hands-on and research opportunities for our undergraduate and graduate students. Our large honors program puts theory into practice working with our professors on research projects. So students aren't stuck waiting until grad school to have that experience. They get to start right away from freshman year. Learning experiences and with innovative programs which benefit our greater community are woven into nearly every academic program. So let me tell you a little bit about some of our most popular and key unique programs. Our nationally ranking College of Business includes our highly rated insurance and risk management. Cyber criminology and criminal justice are our most popular majors. And we have a very well-known communications, sciences, and disorders major. In addition, we offer engineering and engineering technology programs. And our aviation, education, nursing, and health and pre-professional sciences are really great too, but they do require additional applications within that admissions process. And I don't want to forget, we have a niche program that's called Packaging Engineering Technology that does have 100% job placement. So incoming students are required to live on campus for their first year in one of our 14 newly renovated resident halls. They're all air conditioned, which is a bonus because it's 3 hours south of Chicago. If you love food as much as I do, I know we've been talking about food a little bit on here, but there are 18 different dining locations on campus and even more options just off of campus grounds. There are over 260 clubs and organizations, including 29 different chapters of National Greek Life. There are a lot of fun things to do on our campus, as well as within Terre Haute. A sample of some of those unique clubs include our National Drag Racing team, and yep, we do have a Quidditch team. ISU has a lot of traditions, including our National Tandem Derby race, or National Tandem Race and Derby Tricycle. We are Division I, and we are part of the Missouri Valley Conference. We also offer competitive club sports and intramurals. So go ahead and take a quick screenshot of this slide. I think it's one of the most important slides on here. Unconditionally admitted students are going to be at that interstate scholars price point on this chart. Students from Illinois with a 3.0 or higher will automatically receive our Midwest Achievement Scholarship of $2,000, which once you apply that, lowers your tuition down to $9,942 just in reach of that in-state cost. We do offer a lot of other merit scholarships that are stackable and renewable too. We have competitive scholarships too, and they're really fantastic. Some of them, like our President's Scholarship, include a in-state tuition for 4 years, 4 years of room and board, and a stipend to study abroad. So when you're living on campus, you're going to be right in the heart of what we refer to as Paradise. We call it also the Haute, and that offers a small cozy town feel, but the convenience of city life. The city has a population of just over 60,000. Really, everything you could want is within your fingertips. Terre Haute is also settled along the banks of the Wabash River. It's really beautiful, and it celebrates rich history and brims with cultural activities and lots of parks. A couple little fun facts of Terre Haute. It's the original home of the iconic tapered Coca-Cola bottle and also the Clabber Girl baking powder. Our 435-acre campus is located at the northern part of downtown, contained kind of a bubble within that city, if you will. It's filled with a lot of lush trees, award-winning landscapes. Our sycamores also make an impact on our community. We have performed over 1.25 million hours of community service. Our students hit the ground running and really adapt to change, which is really important in these times. Employers love that of our grads. And in fact, our grads enjoyed 99% placement and on average have a starting salary of $57,000 a year. Again, go ahead and screenshot this. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Indiana State University. I would love to provide you with further personalized information, so go ahead, feel free to contact me. And thanks so much. Go Sycamores.
Great, thank you so much, Lisa. We'll have time for a brief Q&A at the conclusion of our webinar, but before that, I'm pleased to present our final presentation, which comes to us tonight from DePaul University.
Unmute. Hi, I'm Bree Fahey. I'm an admission counselor here at DePaul University in the city of Chicago. So let me start my information for you. Sorry. So DePaul is a private Catholic institution in the heart of Chicago, Illinois, with an undergraduate population of about 14,500 students. We have all the big school resources that you could want since we're located in the third largest US city, but our academic experience at DePaul will be very personal by design. Our average class size is 22, and 90% of our classes will have fewer than 40 students. We don't have large lecture halls, and our classes are not taught by TAs. Our student body is super diverse and reflects our global community. We've got 44% of our freshmen are students of color, 35% are the first in their family to earn a college degree. A lot of students are from in-state, but a lot of students are also from out of state. While we are a Catholic institution, the experience is really as Catholic as you want it to be. We have all different faiths represented. We have all different resources for those faiths. The main way we keep the Vincentian tradition alive is to dedicate ourselves to community service and ending cycles of poverty. We prepare all of our students to think and act with others in mind, using higher education as a means to engage cultural, social, religious, and ethical values in service to others. Right. DePaul students split their time between two campuses in the city of Chicago. One's the Lincoln Park campus, that is a residential kind of urban neighborhood, has a traditional feel. We do have a quad like you would see in movies, 11 residence halls, a student center, and a big library. It's where you most likely see students going to class in a DePaul hoodie. A 15-minute ride away on public transportation, we have the Loop campus in Chicago's financial district. There, students take elevators to class instead of walking across the quad, and you'd be more likely to see a student going to class in a blazer coming straight from an internship or job shadowing or informational interview in the city. Almost all of our students will take classes on both campuses and get that Chicago experience. Academically, our students pick from over 300 academic programs. Some of our most popular programs are housed in our College of Business and in our conservatory style theater and music programs, or our College of Computing and Digital Media. Our science and health focused degrees are strong, and we have accelerated options for the students interested in medical related professions, like going to med school. You can go to med school as early as right after your junior year. We also are home to film and television, animation, and game design. We have several honors options at DePaul, university-wide program, and then specific to certain programs, their honors program as well. We also have a 3+3 option with DePaul's Law School, so you can get a bachelor's degree and a JD in 6 years instead of 7 if you want to be a lawyer. If you're undecided, like a lot of people are, there's no worries. We are double major and minor friendly, and we embrace change. As long as you're in good academic standing, you can change your major at any time. All right, student life-wise, our students are incredibly involved on campus and off. We have over 400 different clubs and organizations. We have NCAA Division I Blue Demon teams. We also have club and intramural sports for those of you who are not trying to get after it that hard. We have political, religious, and academically focused clubs. We have outdoor adventure programs. We have Greek life on campus. In one afternoon, you can attend theater and music productions on campus and then go sample the local fare with our pizza club. Right. To help students get used to our city, all freshmen take a seminar in their first quarter called the Chicago Quarter Class, where you go on-site visits and explore the city using one of over 100 different topics as a lens. You could take a class about the Cubs, or crime and politics in Chicago, or improv in the city, or art and public sculpture, and go on group excursions across the city. This class is a great way to explore new neighborhoods and learn how to use the L and buses, and get to know resources on campus like the Writing Center, Career Center, and Center for Students with Disabilities. DePaul has so many support systems that it takes us a term to show you what they all are, and that's part of what the Chicago Quarter is. All right, we are also really proud of our outcomes at DePaul. 6 months after graduation, 91% of our students are employed, continuing education, or exploring other options. It's no accident, and due in large part to the fact that all of our students are required to do experiential learning in their junior year. So that could be internship, study abroad, community service-based learning project, which can also be abroad. And because our Career Center is so active, you can meet with a career advisor one-on-one to practice interview skills or explore a career community if you're undecided. You can meet and network with alumni on our kind of our own social media network, which is Alumni Sharing Knowledge, or connect with local employers who come to campus to actively recruit for our students. DePaul is a really popular place for a lot of Chicago employers to recruit from because our students are so city ready. All right. If this at all sounds interesting to you, we'd love to have you apply using the Common Application. We use a holistic application review process, which means we look at all the things that you submit, including transcripts and recommendations and anything that you put on your application. We have been test optional for 10 years for admission decisions, and we consider you for academic merit-based scholarship and honors programs at the time of application review, whether or not you decide to submit your test scores. We give out more than like $50 million a year in merit-based aid. The application is also free, so no downside to applying. All right, there are a lot of ways to connect with us here at DePaul. There's so much more to tell you than we could possibly have covered here. I barely even mentioned housing options or study abroad or the volunteer work our students do throughout Chicago. Our students, faculty, and staff are community service minor. So reach out to me and let me know what you would want to know about DePaul, what would help you consider DePaul. I'm very excited that you're here and learning more about us and all the other schools and seeing all your options. I look forward to working with you over the coming year. Submit any questions you have for me in the Q&A and I'll answer them as I can. And I will also submit my contact information as well. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Bree, and thank you to all of our presenters for sharing your institutions with us. We do have a few moments remaining, so we will bring everyone back for a kind of quick Q&A. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, you can certainly drop them in that widget, and our representatives would be more than happy to answer them. But in the same order of our initial presentation, so we'll start off with you, Jacob. I think one question that institutions are, or excuse me, prospective students are commonly asking is what a event or tradition, something really kind of signature or unique about your campus may be that you would like to share.
Tell you what, I'm going to give you a little bit of both. So I'll start with the events. I will confess, large universities, a fair number of them do something like this, but we call it Spring Jam. This is basically a student-led concert. So it's a student group that bring in national acts that are national, basically musicians. And it's like a 3-day weekend event, all concerts, fair, festival rides, all that stuff taken over. And I think I really appreciate it because it's kind of that first weekend of spring in April, which is kind of what the appreciation is. I would say the interesting fact about us is we are the birthplace of cheerleading. From 1898, cheerleading started here at the University of Minnesota. That is my quick answer. Alexis, would you be next?
Sure, I'll go next.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember the order. I apologize.
That's okay. So one of the traditions that we like and that I like at Maryville is our week of welcome. Instead of just doing a weekend drop your kid off, see your mom, dad, grams, or family. It is a full week before, and there are different events where you are doing meet and greets with university administration, the president. You're also doing meet and greets with each different department and program. So your parents and family and guardians can meet your professors. There is also good food to be had around this time as well. And I will just shout out the St. Louis Cardinals. I know DePaul said they have a class about the Cubs, but during the week of welcome, you might see Fredberg walking around or something. But it's really just a great time to get to know your, just to start to get comfortable with your new home and start your next chapter. And it's a really good time for your family to know where you are and see all the places and things that you will go. The move-in happens where you don't even touch anything. We have all of our move-in leaders and folks helping as well too. So that's a big plus as well. It's probably one of the best times. It's a real touchy-feely moment. You get to take your picture as a class, all in the big shape of an M as well too. I'm not sure who's next.
Next.
Awesome.
So at Lakeview, one of our huge traditions is every semester, our senior graduating class participates in triage day. So that's a day where the underclassmen basically help them reenact different scenarios. So the seniors walk in, they don't know what's going on. I think this semester it was an earthquake had touched down. So basically they're triaging their peers, trying to figure out what's going on. They're in the skills lab. They're using our simulators for birthing, things like that. It's really cool. It's really great to see how they apply everything that they've learned for these real life scenarios. It's also really hilarious. Our students use their acting skills, but it's really great. I think our seniors look at it as a way to just their coming of age almost, like this is it, we're almost there, we're going to graduate soon and really get out there in the field. So it's a way to encompass everything that they've learned, but also to have fun as well.
I think I'm next. So we have something really unique. It's our tricycle races, and we have tricycle derby and tandem races. So a long time ago, one of the dorms had found a little tricycle, and they started just trying to, race this tricycle without everybody in the dorm. And then the next year it got more competitive. Other people started bringing tricycles on campus. And then every year after that, just bigger and bigger. And pretty soon the whole campus kind of was taking, involved in this. So the alumni stepped in along with our students. They raised money and actually have a track just for this event. So it's pretty fun. Homecoming too would be something else. So Bree, go ahead.
All right. So I talked about Chicago Quarter a little, which is one of my favorites. We also do have Fest, which is a music festival. We've had Childish Gambino headline. We've had Wiz Khalifa. We've had Diplo come to campus. It's kind of like a mini Lollapalooza, and I love that one. It's the kind of right at the end of the spring term. But one of my favorite things, sorry to cheat, but Vincentian Service Day. Our campus as a whole is really dedicated to giving back to the community of Chicago. So Vincentian Service Day is the students, faculty, and staff all get together and get bussed out to areas throughout Chicago. So another way to get to know the great city and to really give back to our community where we live.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you to all of you for sharing these traditions and events that make your campuses so unique. Thank you to everyone for joining us as well. At the conclusion of this webinar, you'll be prompted with a brief 4-question survey, and we would appreciate any feedback that you could provide. And also just a reminder that this is one of many college fair sessions happening this evening, and we would invite you to join us for any of them. All of them are being recorded and will be available within about a week's time at strivescan.com/Illinois. Thanks so much and have a great night.